Okay, let's start today outside. A little bit of an unusual approach, but let's go outside here and take a look at one of my upcoming projects. If you saw the video, you know what I've got in here. This is a pad that you put the aquariums on. It helps them to be level. And he gave me a pad that I can cut in two that'll fit both the aquariums. And these are the aquariums I picked up from my friends over in Dixon, Tennessee. And you're just seeing my reflection now, but the one thing that really stood out when I looked at these tanks were the edges. They're so clean. It's so clean all around. You can hear the gardeners in the distance. I'm not even really sure the technique that they use to attach this sheet of glass here to this piece here, and they're beveled, they're edged and beveled and polished. And I'll show you the aquarium tanks just for comparison. I'm going to get a couple friends here. We're going to move these out, and then we're going to take the aquariums that are on the stands currently, put the pads down, and then put these new tanks in place after I've cleaned them out. Just give them a quick wipe down. Let's go back in the fish room, away from the never-ending sound of lawnmowers in my area. This is the 29. That massive Anubias has just started floating. I'm going to have to reattach it to this little piece of driftwood down here. You see these almond leaves, the plecos just skeletonize them. They just munch on them. I had something really strange happen in this aquarium. I mean, not really strange, just kind of odd, because I hadn't added any plants or anything that could possibly bring over eggs of any kind. I'd added some fish a while back, but all of a sudden this little cherry shrimp, a cherry shrimp was swimming around in here, and he was hiding up here in the hornwort. At first I thought he was like a reddish or albino baby pleco, because the tank does have a lot of baby plecos in it right now. They're all kind of hiding under the light. You can see one there on the cave. But it's like, where in the world did this baby shrimp come from? Now I can't find him, and maybe he didn't make it, but just so bizarre to have just a shrimp appear out of nowhere. I might end up putting all the fish from the 55-gallon into this tank along with all the plants, and maybe even throw the hang-on back that's on that 55 on this aquarium and just put all the stock in here while I set up the new 55 from glass cages. Here's that little pleco playground. Oh, there's a little albino on top of the rock there. I usually will keep the albinos and any other fish that has any unusual spots or markings. A lot of plecos. Here's the 90-gallon. Nice and bright in here, because I'm all set up for the live stream. Look at how big those Congos are getting. Those Congo tetras. They're getting big and thick. A little more bold coming up to the front of the tank, where before they used to just hang out in the back. Beautiful fish from Josh over at Cunningham Tropicals. Yeah, I'm going to feed you guys. Be patient. Boy, I can't wait to get rid of this, because every now and then I bump into this and I knock it over. I bump into this clamp, which is holding this brace together. So it's going to be really nice to finally get rid of that. But the fish are all doing great, and I just really hope that I can orchestrate the transition smooth enough so that all of them make it with as little stress as possible. I mean, I'm going to be bringing over all the plants, and look at that mountain of Anubias, really thriving. I do use some of that, some of the Easy Green liquid fertilizer in here. These temple plants keep getting pulled out from the substrate. When I do the transition, I might end up doing more of these rocks like this. This might hold the plants and be a little bit better for them than having them sit in sand. Might help them with establishing their roots. This is another tank that I'm going to be swapping out and getting rid of this clamp finally. He's a beauty. Yeah, I'm talking about you, buddy. A handsome fellow. Here's the 210 gallon. Got to work my way around this light, which is set up for the live stream, which is starting shortly. You can see here the fish in here are just thriving like crazy. Chocolate cichlid. Jack Dempsey, normally in the back. Usually you don't see that Jack Dempsey. She tends to hide. Jackie Dempsey tends to hide over in the rocks. There's my shy Nicaragua. You can see her down there. There she is. Really pretty fish. Likes to defend that little spot down there. Geos are thriving in here. There was some concern about them. In particular, there was concern about how they would do, because this wasn't really a sand substrate, which is what geos really enjoy. The giant vieja. But there's a lot of sand in here. If you look at this, look all the sand that's in there. Tons of sand. So they just get underneath the pebbles and do their geo thing. Don't seem to have any problem with the firemouth, always trying to get into it with the Nicaragua. Little green tear, slowly growing. He's like a 3-year-old, you know, mostly all head. There's that red shoulder severum back there, looking great. Again, another fish I was a little concerned about. The top-off system I put on this tank is working great, but more on that later. I'm really putting another one on there. This electric blue Ochart is just looking so lush in this aquarium. Yeah, they're following me around because I need to feed them. Here's my mess for today's live stream. Northfin sent me a little food. Maybe I'll give away some of that today. A couple products I want to talk about from Higer. Here's some food from Josh, as well as some Extreme and some Sarah. No shortage of food here. Here's the 300. Look at that fire hap. Oh my goodness. That's a beauty. Bucochromis notitania. Those are 2 fish I got from Josh. The rest of them in here are from James Largo over at the Cichlid Shack. Not sure what's going on over there now in Arizona. Here's that eye biter. Behaving. He was acting up a little bit, making a little breeding pit in the back middle of the aquarium, but I think one of the bigger fish set him straight. My old gar. My little runt Venusis. Yep, that's the Bucochromis rhodesii yellow. Just a big boy. A hawk. Fusco. A little trout. Kawingi. sometimes after I film, I'll look at the film later and notice something about a fish that I didn't see before. It's a Buccochromis pectabilis. Beautiful fish. There's a strigatus back there, being shy. And the turquoise hap. Yeah, they're hungry. So there's an update. I'm going to go ahead and end off here because I do need to get ready for the live stream. Hopefully by this time next week I'll have those new 55-gallon tanks up and running. There's my alter ego, mini me. All right, let's get this show on the road. Thank you so much for watching this this update. I'll probably release it as a standalone video as well. We've got a lot of work to do in here. Never a dull moment, and I like it. Keeps me occupied, keeps me out of trouble. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching.